Yo, what's good, fam? It's your boy Chance here, and you're locked into another episode of Bullied Nostalgia. And man, if you've been following the show, you already know what we're about. We take those memories, those embarrassing, cringy, oh my god, why did I ever think of that kind of moments and flip them, you hear me?
I hear you.
Thank you.
So many of our favorites to watch. Oh, look, now they're being bashed. I guess that's what we should expect on the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast. As Chance so eloquently said before the drop, we're the Bullied Nostalgia Podcast, and we revisit the movies and TV shows we loved from our childhoods, only to tear them apart like diamond-filled chipmunk dolls as adults. I'm Tim, and, well, you've already heard from Chance. We're joined by John.
Ew.
And Kai.
What a weird obsession with diamond-filled chipmunk dolls.
If you somehow stumbled onto our podcast and this is your first time with us, yes, Chance always talks like that. We do a monthly podcast, and we have a pretty deep back catalog at this point. There are almost 50 episodes available for you to peruse that range from Canadian TV shows for kids to Ernest Scared Stupid. For those of you a few episodes deep thinking this show can be better, please email us feedback and ideas to bulliedpod@gmail.com. We answer every email that comes through. Lastly, if you're a diehard and have been with us through thick and thin, you can spread some Bullied Nostalgia love with some of our merch found by searching Bullied Pod on redbubble.com. Speaking of our merch, in celebration of our upcoming 50th episode, I added a new design to our available shirts. And John, I also took down Heavy Eggnog, making you the only owner of that shirt in the world.
Oh my goodness, the value.
Skyrocketed.
I thought it was already priceless, but now it's something else. Tim, the reason for taking it down, it was just we were making too many sales?
No, you're the only owner in the world.
I wonder why nobody bought that.
Yeah.
Does that mean people have been buying our other shirts?
Yeah, it's scary. I wonder why someone would wear that Heavy Eggnog shirt. Dad, what's our best-selling shirt?
Oh, the best-selling shirt is definitely nicotine-colored glasses.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're slowly adding to the library. And if people have any quotable quotes or things that they want to add to the merch store, anything that shows up on this podcast is fair game.
Oh my goodness, Tim, I'm looking at your new shirt.
Oh.
This is fun.
Thank you.
Yeah, for our listeners, there's Lex Luthor's Tinder account on a shirt. And it outlines his age. I never knew Lex was 41 years old. But it does say that he likes money, power, and Mozart, and dislikes animals and children. Common knowledge.
Common knowledge.
Yeah, that's pretty good, Tim. That might be my favorite design yet.
Oh, thank you.
Honestly, every time I go through an episode, I'm like, oh, that could have been a t-shirt. That could have been a good quote. We're slowly building up lists of things that we could do, but they all look terrible on shirts.
Yes, I showed Kai the other day. I have a list of probably 50 quotes from episodes of our podcast. They're all very funny, but a lot of them I don't know how to make into a t-shirt, so we'll see. Mm-hmm. We got hung up.
You can also do like mugs and stuff.
What would make a good mug?
I don't know if anything we've said, but I really want a mug that says World's Greatest Mug on it.
Done.
I'm sure that exists already.
Okay, well, let's jump into today's episode. The movie we watched today was one that is very near and dear to my heart. It is 1987's The Chipmunk Adventure. Before we talk about what the movie is, though, what are initial thoughts? Had people seen this movie before? Did you remember it? Did you enjoy your viewing?
Yes, I've seen this movie before. I think we owned the DVD of it when I was younger. But this movie has ups and downs, to say the least.
I had no recollection of watching this movie, and I generally say that that was a good thing.
It was good that you didn't remember it? Or what did that mean?
Yeah, if I had seen it, good thing I forgot it.
Okay. Yeah, as Chance has kind of inferred, a lot about this movie has not aged well, but I'm sure we'll get into that stuff. I can't help but love this movie, though. There's so many things that I absolutely adore about it. So it's one of those things where I'm willing to look past some of the problematic stuff. John, do you have a hot take before we get into it?
Oh, yeah, without giving too many spoilers away, I do remember watching this movie a lot. Enough that I feel like maybe we owned it on VHS in the big case. But yes, there's a lot of fond memory that goes along with it. And now watching it as an adult, I feel like I'm able to appreciate or criticize things in a different way.
Yes, we did own this VHS, and Chance is also correct. When I got married, I upgraded to the DVD, and I gifted the VHS to a friend. So the DVD probably still exists out on the farm, which means that we had to find some way of watching this digitally, and there is not very good options out there on the internet right now.
Nope. 800 ads.
Yeah, to be clear, the website where we watched it, what was it, every minute and a half you had to watch an ad?
It was 2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay, yeah.
It's free on Billy Billy with no ads.
Oh, nice.
I do also have an ad blocker.
Yeah.
It's too bad to find out that there was a way I could have watched this without seeing the same Walmart ad 40 times.
It was really bad.
It was a lot of ads.
It
Okay.
was too many.
The first surprise for me watching this as an adult was the realization that most of these songs are original songs, and a lot of them are really good. A lot of them slap.
I don't agree with you.
Okay. Even the girls and boys of rock and roll, you didn't like that?
I think the music is fine. It's just the Chipmunks have the most grating voice in the world.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's kind
I'm
of
sure
the
with
point.
regular human voices, that song would sound great. With chipmunk voices, it sounds really bad.
Okay. Well, that's kind of the point. That's their whole shtick.
Yeah, maybe you have a bad shtick.
For those who don't know, Alvin and the Chipmunks, whether TV shows or movies, incorporate a musical component. So this movie's music felt like they had come up with an album and then had to somehow make the movie fit that album, but do it in a really poor way. So it's a lot of really odd lyrics for these little chipmunks to be singing to these adult women or these chipettes to be singing to snakes. When they are in Mexico, they are singing to adult women, I like you to hold me tight. You are too divine. If you want to be in someone's arms tonight, just be sure the arms you're in are mine. I like your lips. I like your eyes. Do you like my hips to hypnotize you? So that was the song that the infants, or the small children
The
sang.
infants.
Yeah, very odd.
Chipettes, which are the girl chipmunks, sing to some snakes. Give me a clue. Tell me what I need to do to get lucky with you. Getting lucky is really what it's all about.
I mean, to be fair to the chipmunks, they aren't really children, and they aren't really chipmunks either. I don't really know what they are. For all we know, it's fine.
Balls of Play-Doh?
Yeah, they kind of look like an unfinished Muppet.
Kai, you're proposing that this distinction between adult and child doesn't really apply to them?
Well, we don't know what vast storage of years of knowledge these aliens have. Maybe they're like 8 billion years old.
Along with the fluppies?
Yeah. I mean, they kind of look a little similar.
They
There's
do have
like
the
a
same hair.
subspecies.
Subspecies.
It's like how ants will have drones or soldiers.
Exactly.
So, the most famous song sung in this movie, and one that is not an original for this movie, is the one sung by Miss Miller, who sings Witch Doctor. And I have a sneaking suspicion that some people did some homework or some studying. So, does anyone want to tell us why that song is in the movie?
Kai, you taking this or me?
I did not study this. Isn't Witch Doctor a chipmunk song?
Kind of. Yeah. So what happened was a guy named Ross Bagdasarian sang the song Witch Doctor back in the 1950s, and he wanted to give a fun sound in the background. So he sped up his voice to make himself sound funny for the ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, ting, tang, walla, walla, bing, bang. And it had this weird high-pitched sound when he sped it up. So he thought it would be funny to make songs entirely in that voice. That's where he birthed the concept of the Chipmunks. So in 1958, used a pseudonym for his own name, calling himself Dave Seville. He created a band called Dave Seville and the Chipmunks, where he got way more notoriety and fame, altering his voice than he ever did as a traditional musician. So the song Witch Doctor is actually, if you want to get real technical, the first Alvin and the Chipmunks song.
Weird.
So yeah, he created them back in 1958, and you guys, there is so much chipmunk stuff. Like all the research, you could do a ton of deep dives. We could do an entire season on chipmunk content. So I'm not going to go too deep into it in case we ever revisit something else that's Alvin and the Chipmunks. I don't want to do what I did with the sequels to Land Before Time, where I did all my research and burned through it all in Land Before Time 3, only for us to go back to that well over and over again.
Do you know why they switched to Alvin and the Chipmunks instead of Dave Seville?
I think it was just over time, they took the focus more and more off of him.
Like a John Arbuckle Garfield situation?
Yeah. And in a lot of the other things too, like the Ghostbusters were very famous when I was young, but then they got their own cartoon series called The Real Ghostbusters, and a couple seasons in, it was renamed Slimer and the Ghostbusters. They would find out what was actually popular about these properties and shine the light on that. Realistically, Dave's character was just the straight man. And so he became less and less necessary as time went on.
For people that have an understanding of what Alvin and the Chipmunks is, if they've never heard of it before, is it a cartoon? Is it live action?
Oh, well, you know what we haven't done at all is we haven't done a summary of this episode. So, Chance, do you want to tag in and tell us what the Chipmunk Adventure is?
Sure, I can do that. The Chipmunk Adventure stars our 6 protagonists: Alvin, Theodore, Simon, Brittany, Jeanette, and Eleanor. 2 different trios, boy chipmunks and female chipmunks. They are approached by 2 villainous ne'er-do-wells, Klaus and Claudia, who are essentially getting diamonds across the world and getting their money and using these 6 children to be their gopher without realizing it. And they trick them into doing this by staging a race around the world. However, partly through, the chipmunks realize their situation and then have to defeat Klaus and Claudia before they continue on in their villainous crimes.
To be clear, these 6 childlike chipmunks are anthropomorphic. They wear clothing, glasses, have hairstyles, but everyone else in the movie, apart from a pet dog who acts like a regular dog and doesn't talk English, everyone else is human beings. And no one really treats the chipmunks like they're different. It's not like, oh, this is weird. The chipmunks just are treated like regular human kids.
I don't even know if they're referred to as chipmunks other than a title. Like, they are the chipmunks and the chipettes. I don't think anybody ever says, oh, look at those chipmunks.
That's an interesting point, John. They aren't like the other animals in this world. Like, there's a penguin. There's a lot of penguins, but even though they can make snowballs, that is the closest thing that they are to anthropomorphic, like you said. There's a shark. There's various creatures in the world, but none of them can speak or wear glasses. So it does beg the question, what are these creatures? And if they are chipmunks how old do they live? Like 5 years, 6 years typically? And they're quite small. These creatures are the size of small children, so they must
They don't
be
have tail.
at least 80
They don't have
years
tripe.
old.
They aren't chipmunks, whatever these things are.
They've been lying to us.
The
They
whole
have.
time.
My number one note in my notes list, it just says, "Do not look like chipmunks," in all caps.
Maybe it's like Easter. Like the Transformers arrived and this was the way they were able to camouflage.
Oh, look at that normal chipmunk child. Yeah, of course. If in real life there are chipmunks walking all around us and we have no idea, is that the implication?
I think this really begs the
yeah.
question who the real villains of this movie are, right? Klaus and Claudia have been fooled just like the rest of us.
Yeah, I think the chipmunk trio, Alvin, Simon, and Theodore, I think they make for a really fun collection of personalities.
I agree.
Alvin likes to get into trouble. He's always seeking attention and excitement. Simon is kind of the intelligent one, but also sarcastic. He tends to say what the viewer's thinking, and all the worst stuff happens to him. Theodore is just like a little cute butterball, cute but kind of useless otherwise.
And a porker.
And I actually thought, I don't know why this came to my mind. I was explaining the movie to a friend, and I was like, I don't know, the Chipmunks are kind of like Bart Simpson, Martin Prince, and Ralph Wiggum from The Simpsons.
That would actually be a fun lineup, though. Can you imagine if they did Simpsons episodes about those three together all the time?
I mean, it's been out for a long time. They probably have.
You know,
There might have been an episode where they went camping together.
Ralph is one of my all-times from Simpsons, so that does speak really highly of Theodore. He's just a little porker who just can't get the food that he wants at any given time.
Honestly, Simon was my favorite. He was hilarious, and I couldn't help but laugh at everything going wrong to him. He's like the responsible one who seems to get all the consequences of his brother's actions.
He's such a stick
It's
in
like
the
if
mud.
Leonardo got pied in the face every time he was the response.
Yeah, and I think you hit on something there, John. There's a lot wrong with this movie. It meanders in some weird ways. There's a lot of stuff that, if this movie were made now, would straight up be considered racist. And they sexualize these creatures, whatever they are, in some weird ways with the music. But 100% Simon, Theodore, and Alvin in this movie are all very funny and very fun to watch. I might be romanticizing this a little bit, like I'd have to watch some of their other stuff nowadays, but I think that this movie does those three the best of any movies that have come out. All three characters are very likable for different reasons.
Yeah, I thought that was a hilarious moment where they're traveling between these different countries. And in this one country, Theodore, the most simple-minded one, gets elevated to godlike status for a time. And then Alvin and Simon are forced to worship and follow his commands, which I thought was just like a really fun way of positioning the characters.
Yeah. Did you guys notice anything in the quality of animation?
I thought it was surprisingly good. I actually had a note about that. I liked a lot how active everyone was. They were very expressive. The chipmunks, of course, have a lot of movement, but I just liked looking at Klaus and Claudia the whole time. It was almost a different animation style for the humans.
Yeah.
But Klaus and Claudia look so slimy and just the worst, but they look so good while doing it.
Yeah, it was really good.
Kai already mentioned that the character designs are a little unsettling. They look very strange.
I would argue bad.
But the emoting that happens, the character expressions and stuff that the chipmunks were making, I was just blown away at how good the animation was. And I was like, there's something going on here. And sure enough, this blows my mind. It all comes back to one moment, one pivotal moment in the 80s. If I could remind you guys, take you back to the Black Cauldron If you remember, Don Bluth got really upset that the animators at the time were not trying new ideas. And so he said, okay, I'm going to start my own studio. If anybody wants to come with me, let's go do that. And so a bunch of the young artists left Disney and created Don Bluth's animation studios. And that really derailed Black Cauldron. Black Cauldron was in limbo. It took something like 6 years to make that movie. And then by the time it came out, it was a huge flop. And so Disney has to unload their art department. They fire most of the artists. And where do they go? This movie.
Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah. That is wild to me. I was like, there's no reason why the animation is this good. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. It turns out it's because it's Disney animation, just not under the Disney umbrella. Just really cool. This movie is such a strange situation to me because I can see stuff that's glaringly bad about it. But then also, there's so many unusually strong redemptive qualities that I just really love. Yeah, I have a couple facts left, but is there anything anybody wants to talk about?
It was a really weird choice to put them in hot air balloons. Because, I don't know if you guys know this, but hot air balloons are really hard to fly.
Isn't there no way to control where they go?
You can control where they go. Essentially, wind changes direction at different elevations. So in order to go a consistent direction, you need to manage your height and which direction the wind is blowing. And so, with the Coriolis effect, usually in the northern hemisphere you can only head east, usually in the southern west. There is a lot of room where you can, it's just a lot more difficult and a lot slower. I plotted the points as best as I could, and they go 51,433 kilometers in this movie. Checking normal hot air balloon flight, 40 kilometers is what I understand to be fast. 10 kilometers is what's used for commercial flights. There's no speed limit to hot air balloons because they just go as fast as the wind can. But if they were going 40 kilometers an hour, it would take them 53 days. To be fair, there is a longest flight record for hot air balloons that goes 40,000 kilometers. And that took 21 days, which means that on average, they were going 80 kilometers an hour. So maybe, but it would be very difficult for them to get anywhere on a hot air balloon.
Well, the hot air balloon is just the beginning of the problems with Klaus and Claudia's plan. They decided to give dolls full of diamonds for these chipmunks to deliver in a pirate ship surrounded by sharks. These might be the most complicated drop-off points of all time.
I liked the one that was in a blade of a windmill. That takes some precision hot air ballooning.
I want to point out that they show up to the house of Klaus and Claudia, and they have dolls for them. I guess they made a whole bunch of dolls overnight, but then they fly to Cuba, and some ancient man is like, ugh, take this doll that looks exactly like your friend. Where did he get that doll from? Did he make it? Did everyone make dolls? Because the point of the kids is to have Klaus and Claudia get the stuff because they can't deliver it. So they didn't deliver the dolls to everyone else. Everyone had to make their own dolls.
The chipmunks are world famous because they're hideous freaks and everybody is so confused.
You do make a good point, Chance, that for people to exchange their dolls with these dolls, how did they get the plans to make those dolls, or who shipped those dolls to them? Maybe Klaus and Claudia sent a whole bunch of empty dolls because that would go under the radar.
Imagine going to the post office being like, yes, I would like to ship 80 boxes of empty dolls. 80 boxes of dolls to 80 different locations.
In the midst of this big enemy's master plan, it seems like there's another enemy in the midst. A guy named Jamal, who sends his henchmen to try and get these dolls. But it's revealed at the last moment in this movie that Jamal's actually a police detective. And these
Sure,
are good guys who are chasing the kids with their golden teeth and evil smiles. It's just like, what? Why is...
Whoa. Why is gold evil? What decides
I don't know where they
if
get
someone
this,
has
they're
an
the good
evil
guys.
smile?
You think the movie was trying to imply that those were good guys all along?
Well, I'm just saying, if you can't look past their smile or their dental work, that seems like a you problem.
Chance, is it a me problem?
I'm on your side, John. It's
They
ridiculous.
did seem pretty aggressive. Also, they were really weird about it. If I was an Interpol agent and I saw some kids who have some diamonds, they have diamond dolls in their hot air balloon. If I saw them get off their hot air balloon and go into the water, I don't know, I would check in the hot air balloon for the other diamond dolls and just wait on the surface
Okay,
and not go down to the shark-infested water.
I understand that, but what if
He
instead...
stole an air tank and scuba gear so that he could go down underwater and not see any of the evidence.
You said, what if I saw some kids get out of a hot air balloon? Now, I understand what you're saying, but what if instead you saw some weird anthropomorphic aliens climb out of a hot air balloon?
And I would not get anywhere near them. I would not go into the water. Seems like a death trap.
Sorry, man. It's aliens. I'm not doing this. I don't get paid enough.
There was another set of characters, the Penguin family.
Oh
Now,
my gosh.
This might be the most useless side plot of all time. I guess it's about the Chipettes finding their conscience, but they're captured by this Arabian prince who's like 6 years old or 8 years old.
And then Eleanor decides she wants to eat a penguin sandwich.
Yes, so
Oh,
as
penguin
a
sandwich.
part of a pre-marriage gift, they get a penguin that's been kidnapped from its parents. And we know this because the penguin has a necklace with a picture of its parents in it. Who took that picture of these penguins and put it in that necklace?
I was gonna say that. Some poacher was like, hey, you know, it'd be really funny. What if we took a picture of this penguin's family, kidnapped it, and then made it wear the picture?
You're right. That is really funny.
Right? It's so dumb.
So anyways, the movie spends a good 15 minutes trying to rescue this baby penguin back to its parents. No relation to the bigger plot. But they do get to sing a song about motherhood.
Yeah, well, we don't know if they have mothers where they come from.
Tim, I'm getting the vibe that you're wearing some rose-colored glasses over there.
I already identified that there's a lot of problems with this movie. That doesn't mean I don't still love it.
I feel like Dave, the human who's kind of their adopted dad, he calls them sons, but they call him Dave.
That is a stepdad thing to do, for sure.
He really took a back seat in this movie. He was hardly in it.
My favorite thing is when Dave sees a boy with a red shirt walk past him, and he's like, that looks like my son! He runs halfway across the city, and then when he ends up at a location where 2 hot air balloons fly away, it's like, man, I guess he wasn't here. The guy is so committed to searching for his son in a location that should not have him. And then the moment that he sees something weird happen, he was like, I guess it wasn't true.
John, I cannot get over your statement about how he calls them son and they just call him Dave. Legit. That really does feel like he's trying to give dad energy and they're just like, no, you're not our dad.
Someone made the comparison earlier to John Arbuckle, and he does have that same kind of patheticness to him.
Oh, John Arbuckle.
Another side plot is that Claudia has a pet dog that doesn't really like Klaus. So these are the two villains. It's a very pampered little dog. And every time we go to see Claudia and Klaus and this little dog have some kind of interaction where they show how much they hate each other. It never really pays off. It's just for the kids who are really bored of bad guy talk.
You stupid mutt. Ha ha ha.
Which, to be fair, I feel like is a thing that happened in cartoons in the 90s. Whenever there's some kind of heavy plot conversation or the adults are talking and kids under 8 wouldn't understand the dialogue, the cartoon movie has someone being silly in some kind of way so that the adults can listen to the plot and the kids can watch the funny, cute animal.
Mm.
Do people have thoughts about Miss Miller, the babysitter of the Chipmunks?
Did like the one conversation she has with Dave. I think that's funny.
Oh.
Like, I just came to check up on the boys. Like, can I? I don't know. Can you?
Yeah, because they're out on an adventure and she thinks that they're with Dave.
Dave, get some sleep.
But Dave thinks that they're with her. Has anyone seen the live-action Chipmunk movies?
I saw the
I'm
first one.
sure I did when I was younger, but...
I think I've probably seen one.
Tim, have you binged them?
I would have taken chance to see the first one in theaters. I remember going to see it at the Lyric Theater in the mall. Beyond that, maybe I saw the second one too, actually, in all honesty. But they pale in comparison to this.
Yeah, I was doing a quick Google search of them, and their Rotten Tomatoes scores in their 4 live-action movies range from 10% to like 21%.
Woo! That is worse than I expected you to say. Actually, yeah, I just pulled up Chipmunk Adventure on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's sitting at a clean 75. That means you could add up the scores of all of the live-action Chipmunk movies and not...
Oh my goodness, I'm doing that right now. Oh my goodness. They got scores of 16, 10, 21, and 28, totaling 75.
That's incredible.
With your powers combined.
This movie became fractured, and then the live-action movies were made.
They split up the Infinity Stones. Who had to be sacrificed to get the Soul Stone for this?
That's a good question. Or Penguin.
Which penguin had to be sacrificed for this movie? So, John, you were correct. Production delays in this movie resulted in a number of additional stops in the tour around the world being cut. And that means the songs from each of those stops still made it onto the film's soundtrack. So, if you're Chance and you're like, how can I get more Chipmunk music in my life? OST, there's lots more there.
I've seen some people use an image from this movie as like a reaction image, which is wild to me. I've seen images from this movie before.
This movie was not a success. We only know that it made $6.8 million at the box office. We don't know what the budget was, but we do know that that was considered a flop for whatever it did cost. And I think that that's probably straight up because this was a Disney animation studio doing the work. It probably did balloon in cost. The only saving grace to this movie is that when it made its way to VHS, it sold very well. It did well enough in the home market. It opened the door to be able to do the modern garbage Chipmunk movies that John already mentioned. All right, let's wrap it up. AI Chance, what did you think about this movie?
I watched this movie as a kid, so it was weird seeing things I recognized. It wasn't a super pleasant experience. I put this as a 3 or a 2. If I put it as a 3, I'm required to call it a good movie, which I don't think it is. I think I'm going to give it a 2. I agree with John that Simon is probably the most fun character in the movie. He has a line where he's like, park the balloon next to the fountain. And they crash into a tree, and he goes, like I said, park it in the tree. It's a fun joke. I usually like his dialogue, but the music is so grating, and for as much as I like the animation and Klaus and Claudia, the movie is weirdly racy at times and just uncomfortable to watch. But I mean, if you were gonna look for something to make fun of, I think you would have a gay old time.
Kai, what about you?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything better than other movies. Go watch something else. If I were to fix this movie, there would be a lot that I would need to do. You'd need to get rid of all the race stuff. picks up a little bit of the loose ends with the characters. I do think Simon is great. Theodore fills his role. But I think everybody else is just kind of there. And then finally, I would make the music less annoying to listen to.
John?
This movie has a lot of really cute moments and fun ideas. And I think it came out at a time when stories didn't really have to make sense. People weren't really critically thinking, or maybe I wasn't critically thinking because I wasn't an adult yet. But ridiculous evil villain plots that don't make sense, and ridiculous police plans that don't make sense, and nothing really makes sense, but everyone's okay with it. I think that's kind of fun. So I like that this movie just does whatever the heck it feels like, and it's really silly, and it's really dumb. But I had fun watching it. Emily fell asleep.
Okay. Thank you for adding that. Yeah, I mean, I've made my stance on this movie pretty clear. Actually, John, you stole a ton of what was going on in my brain. So all I'll really say is that I think I disagree, Kai. If you take away all of the weird stuff about this movie, it kind of becomes a nothing movie. I actually like that it makes no sense, that the characters have no rationale behind what they do, and the science and the logic is all out the window. This is one of my all-time favorite 80s animated movies, simply because it is so weird. Pretty much what you said, John. I appreciate that they're just like, you know what? These are the rules of our universe. No one's going to tell us otherwise. Let's just have fun with it. I do love this movie. Across the board, the movie doesn't age well, but there's something special about it that I still absolutely love, and you can tell that care was put into it, and that still holds up. So, yeah, you can say whatever negative stuff you want about this movie. I acknowledge it, and I agree, but also, I would watch it again in a heartbeat. So, just some housekeeping stuff before we go for today. Our 50th episode is right around the corner. So we're trying to do as many fun things as we can to celebrate it. A friendly reminder that we have a poll up that is a head-to-head battle to help us figure out what the community's favorite episodes were. So feel free to hop on that a couple times and choose your favorite episode. Our next episode is our Christmas episode, and we will be doing Miracle on 34th Street. I'm honestly not sure how it's going to go. This is probably the most serious movie we have tackled for the podcast. And so that will either go very well or not at all. Yeah.
Well, and to clarify, Tim, there was a 1947 movie of the same name, but we're watching the 1994 version.
That's correct. This is our nostalgia, not our great-great-great-grandparents' nostalgia. This is our nostalgia, not the aliens who are pretending to be chipmunks' nostalgia.
You know where people can watch that?
Do you?
I'm looking it up.
Okay.
Disney Plus.
Okay. All right. Look out for weirdos who are trying to trade you the opposite gender chipmunk dolls for the ones that you're trying to give them.
Praise Beethoven.
Don't forget to breathe in and out.
Adventure, Jamie.
Oh, hold on. I was going to say, have you seen my childhood?
All right. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for Christmas times.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.